Hey guys, so I'm back again and I'm excited to tell you guys I actually got my first job as a registered respiratory therapist. If you guys want, you can definitely follow me on Instagram at breatheeasy_RRT. I announced it a little while ago there, but when I do these videos, of course, I only do them once a week, so you don't always get the most recent news of, or the most recent updates of what I've been doing. So since I accepted my first job position, I figured that I would do a quick video. So first and foremost, I know that job hunting, especially if you've been looking for a while, can be really frustrating, draining, and just exhausting overall. So just make sure that you don't give up. You have to keep going and try to think out of the box. Maybe do some things that not everybody else is doing. The first thing I want to say is it really goes back to clinicals. If you guys are watching this before you've graduated, the more connections that you make at clinical and even in outside organizations where you might meet other respiratory therapists, that's going to be so helpful for you, because at that point they'll already kind of know a little bit more about you, be familiar with your personality, if you may fit in with their coworkers, things like that, as well as you'll have a chance to get to know some of the respiratory directors at those hospitals before you've even graduated. And that's a good time to, get to know what they're looking for in an employee. So again, that goes back to being on your best behavior during clinical and, really showing them that you want this while you're there, even if you're having a bad day, because clinical can be really rough when you're learning so many new things. It's important to make sure you're really present and there and in the moment. Some other thoughts of, just little things that are slightly different that you can do. If you have made connections at your clinical sites or somewhere else, such as an organization you volunteer for, reach out to those connections. If you happen to know the respiratory directors at those locations, or they have told you that, they like you and wouldn't mind you coming back once you graduate, take them up on that offer. They're not going to tell you that because they don't mean it. They're not going to tell somebody to come back and see them when they graduate if they really aren't interested in you as a professional. So, stop by with your resume, let them know you've graduated, that you're looking for a job, or if you have other contact information like emailing. But one thing I will say with this is once is probably enough. Nobody likes a stalker. Don't be stopping by every single day and emailing them and calling them. That's excessive, and that's going to do you more harm than good. So be respectful of people's time and their privacy and things of that sort, of course, but try to think outside the box. Something else you can do if you are struggling maybe to find a position after you've graduated and it's been some time, if you're not already, volunteering at a local hospital or organization, maybe start doing that. Get your foot in the door, get to know people and see, as I mentioned before, what they're looking for in a professional. Show them that you want it, that even if you can't work there currently as an RT because maybe they don't have an available position, then show them that you want it. Go there another way through volunteering or, meetings with your local state society, anything of the sort. You really do have to think outside the box as a new grad, because more often than not, companies use scanning systems basically for your resume. So often you may apply for a position and get a rejection email 2 minutes later. It's probably some sort of scanning system that they're using, and it's kicking you out either because you don't have enough experience in the field or there's something going on with your resume. So, make sure that you take every step possible, such as thinking outside the box, like I said before, having outside people look at your resume, whether that be, an instructor at your school that's familiar with what a respiratory therapist resume should look like, other classmates, friends, anything of the sort, to make sure that there's not something in your resume that's kind of causing an issue when those systems are scanning through. And other times, if it is kicking your resume out because of a lack of experience in the area, that's another reason that you should go back and talk to your old clinical sites to let them know that you are interested in working there if they're interested in, talking to you or interviewing you. If you do end up getting an interview, especially as a new grad, that can be so difficult. It's one of those things where they keep telling you, well, you don't have enough experience, and you're sitting there, how am I supposed to get experience if no one wants to hire me without experience? Don't get discouraged. you know. So once you finally do get that interview, make sure that they know that you're appreciative of it. It's just a common courtesy. I don't know if everyone does this anymore, but with any type of interview I always do a follow-up email, just, you know, thanking them for their time and letting them know why I want to work for their company still. Or even just on the side note, you know, if I work with an organization for something else, I always send a follow-up thank you email just to let them know I appreciate them. And people remember things like that. Just taking that extra step to let them know you enjoyed, you know, what you were doing, or you appreciate them taking the time to talk to you. But those are just some very basic tips, a couple of little outside the box things that you can do. If you guys have any suggestions or questions, definitely leave them down in the comments below, and I will talk to you next week.